Hello and welcome to another episode of Roach Coach, the new metal podcast you deserve. My name is Lauren Kozlowski. With me, as always, the original Roach rider, Mr. Matt Nas.
Keep it rolling, baby.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, back for another episode of Roach Coach. You know, we do so much here. We create a new metal canon one album at a time.
We do.
We talk about new news, and most importantly, we also talk about who's tweeting.
Who's tweeting?
That's right. This episode's all about feedback, new news, roach recommendations,
love it,
lists, all of that good stuff, Matt. And you know, Matt, it's a new year.
It's new us.
It's a new us, and nothing says a new year like going in to your social media and seeing a little notification and saying, "Who's in those DMs?"
Sliding up in.
Matt, I love to get a DM early in the morning from somebody like Joe who said, "You guys did it again."
Ooh, we did.
I was like, I love getting that when I've done nothing so far that day, and apparently I've accomplished something. I'm like,
that I've done it again.
I've done it again. What have I done?
Unbeknownst to me,
I
have done it again.
I am just waking up. News to me. What have I done? I'm not even dressed. And Joe said, "You guys did it again. Not only new metal is back, but so is Boiler Room reunited after 20 years." Sent us a link to Boiler Room's new song, No Patience, and asked the question, is this the Renaissance era of new metal? So, first and foremost, thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
giving
Joe.
us credit early in the morning. Second of all, yes, this is the Renaissance of new metal. It can only be viewed as that way. And you know what? I was talking to friend of the show and fellow new metal aficionado, John Cullen.
Okay, yeah, from the POD cast.
From the POD cast. And we were talking about new metal and other things, as we tend to do. And he said that if you really want to look at how new metal was perceived, is taken, he said that you could argue that from 99 to 2002, new metal was given too much focus. Like it was too focused. Everyone paid too much attention to it, which led to then new metal going away. And then he said, then you have this long stretch where people don't pay enough attention to it. And now, in our current moment, people are giving it just the right amount of attention. And I said, an interesting take, Mr. Cullen, and I appreciate it. And yeah, I do think saying that this is the Renaissance era, I think that's valid because people are discovering it every day.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
People are discovering it. So I would agree. Now, Boiler Room, that is a band that I do not believe we've ever covered on the show before. We've certainly never done one of their albums. But going over into the long list, I have a physical copy of Boiler Room's album, Can't Breathe. And I believe that was a Roach recommendation by someone at some point, and I procured a copy. And in that time, Boiler Room, they were like, it's time to head on back in the studio. It's time to head on back to the studio.
Time, bro.
Studio time, bro. And let's make some new. So we have a new song. It's called No Patience. That sounds like a very new metal sentiment. No patience. Absolutely not. Patience?
Excuse me. None. Zero.
No patience for whatever it is. So let's check this out, man.
All right. Boiler Room. No Patience.
Matt, we're drumming.
We are drumming.
We're drumming. But most importantly,
we're riffing.
And we're also saying, can we be Seven Dust and Disturbed at the same time? Can it be done?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Number one comment, only comment. Never dawned on me how much he sounds like David Draymond.
It's right there now. Yeah, I was gonna say Disturbed vibes, it's beyond vibes.
Right.
It's a disturbed tone, disturbed
They
tonality.
just plugged an old jumper into Disturbed. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to divert some Disturbed over here.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it. It has a very good propulsive move. It doesn't, if anything, it seems a little tighter than some of the Disturbed that we heard. I think some Disturbed gets a little slower tempo of late. And this seemed a little, I mean, like I said, get them drums. It's a little faster. BPMs are up. I'm not in love with it just because I'm not in love with later Disturbed, but it definitely felt, I wouldn't give it a new AF. I'd give it a solid new though. I'd give it a new because it does straddle that line. But the 7 dustiness of it brings it more into the new. But overall, here's the thing. I had fun. I had a lot of fun with
You
it.
had fun?
I could listen to the whole thing. I had a lot of fun. How'd you feel about it, Matt?
We were very close to Buttsburg on this. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, rut-row. But we got a solid riff. I'm not a Disturbed guy, so the vocal stylings don't do as much for me. But you know what? Happy to hear it. Happy to hear these guys back. Good on you, Boiler Room.
Yeah, Boiler Room is back. We're going to have to check out. And listen, Boiler Room have an album called Can't Breathe. We're going to do it on the show.
We will get there.
Listen,
we will.
I'm pretty sure, Matt, and check my math on this, but I'm pretty sure Can't Breathe is pretty close to Suffocate. I feel like they're pretty close to each other.
They're like kissing cousins.
They are kissing cousins who cannot breathe.
Well, they can't breathe. They're
kissing. They're
lip to lip, baby.
Oh, man.
They're from the Midwest. Noses always clogged.
You know what? There's nothing sadder, though. It's such a tragedy when you find out that not only were your cousins kissing, but then they died from it,
Right.
Terrible. What, awkward,
well, there's so many country
funeral.
songs written about the death of a kissing cousin.
That's true, because they couldn't breathe, because they were suffocating.
Oh, gosh.
Matt.
The Leuven brothers really wrote a lot of masterpieces about that.
They did. Matt, I love to be in these DMs. We have a DM from Mike Marco who said, so am I just going crazy, or did I just hear of the band Flymore? If you guys already did them, I apologize, because I have been listening to you guys since the beginning, but this band just popped up on my Spotify as a suggestion in a random playlist, and I was absolutely positive it was Korn, only to look at the screen and see the band name was Flymore. I have legit never heard of them in my life, but holy shitballs, Korn needs to lock the studio up when they leave because someone went in and stole a couple albums worth of songs and named it Flymore. Jesus. So I was also not familiar with Flymore, Matt. So
we've talked about Flymore on the band.
We've talked about Flymore? Okay.
On the pod for any who's tweeting, but not
we haven't done them on the show. Okay.
We have not done them on the show.
Because I got to be honest, I looked at this album cover. The album is called Millennium 4-5. And that's Roman numeral 4, Roman numeral 5. And if it's said another way, I refuse to say it another way. And the album cover has what looks to be a woman, and her back is bare. And it's because it's full of cords. She has a bunch of cords running into her back. And it's got this green, gross tint. And then I think we've got a guy hanging or something here with the whole thing is I would say beyond nu metal. It's just like crazy. But I did not have a chance to listen to any of the songs because I was just enjoying this DM from Mike. So what's a song we can listen to? Is there a song? Do you want to play one that we did on the show before? Or do you want to play one?
Sure. Well, here's the number one song. But yeah, when I saw this album cover too, I was like, we have certainly talked about this before.
Okay. All right.
This is All the Time I Bled. They are a Russian nu metal band.
Listen, Korn, guys, get a Ring camera, okay? Get Guardian Alarm, Sentry, BlackRock, something. Protect your home. Protect your home. These people, this is a real. Korn came home and there was nothing left but their toothbrushes and a camera, baby. Okay,
and
that's
a
all
note that said, "Thank you,
thank you. We're taking this.
Just gonna borrow this for a whole album if you don't mind."
Goodness! Wow.
That wasn't Korn. Are you sure?
That wasn't Korn, Matt. That was Flymore.
I don't know if it was.
Wow.
I'd never heard of Flymore. I've certainly heard of Korn.
I've certainly heard of Korn. Certainly know what they sound like. Oh, man, that is. You know what? That was it. 2009 is what it says on my Apple Music for this album. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm wondering if it was just a situation where they were like, "Now's the time to strike and put out fake Korn music."
Probably, right?
Maybe. At the same time, this is Korn trying to remember who they are at that same time.
Flymore's We Remember.
You know what, though? I'm curious to hear what a full album of fake Korn would sound like.
Yeah.
I remember, it's funny that you brought up that it showed up on a playlist, because I remember early on when we were doing this show, and I was much more desperate to look for new stuff. Now, at this point, I know it's just going to come in. I don't have to hunt like I used to. And I remember listening to some like new, like it was not new metal, but just like a new metal playlist. Here's new metal that's coming out.
Right.
And this band came on that was doing like a cover of, I want to say Here to Stay or something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, these guys don't have the juice. Like this is no good. Like you don't even sound like you have all the instruments. You definitely don't have 7 strings. Like this is no good. And
Can't
I don't know,
Korn on a 6 string.
Well, that's the thing, man. I don't know if you know this. So most bands only have 6 strings on their guitars.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much the standard amount of strings.
But when you deal with a band like Korn, Bakersfield, California, I don't know if you know this, they utilize a 7th string, and that 7th string is what then encapsulates the Korn signature sound. That's the thing that makes them a little bit different, that makes them a little bit more unique, is that inclusion of the 7th string.
So you mean to tell me that Korn uses a 7-string guitar, guitar created by the Satch Man, Joe Satriani, that he thought that no one would buy, but Korn did?
Korn bought it, and Korn used it, and then everyone else got one. And and thus, creating the Korn signature sound. So I don't know if anyone knew that. I hope that our listeners take this information to heart. Well, Mike, thank you so much for sending us.
I do love that the lore of that bit just keeps growing as we learn more about 7-string guitars.
I love it. I'm going to be doing that bit forever. Yeah. Thank you so much for telling us or retelling us about Flymore.
Matt, we're going to take you off of life support. Did you know that Korn's signature sound was because it had 7-string guitar?
Matt, what is going to be on your gravestone? I will have to tell Jenny this because it's epitaph update.
Oh, I have a new one.
Is going to be most guitars have 6 strings, chords have 7 strings. Here lies Matt Noss.
Here lies Matt Noss. It led to his signature sound.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Flymore, they're on the long list. We're going to check this album out this year. I promise you, because we need to know what else they stole. I mean, did they take the carpet? Did they take the wallpaper? We're going
to find out.
We're going to find out, So thank you, Mike, for sliding in those DMs.
Sliding up in.
Now, you can also contact us if you don't want to be so salacious and slide in the DMs. If you want to be a little bit more professional, you can send us an email for a segment called Who's Emailing?
Who's Emailing?
Matt, we got an email from Samuel Smith.
We sure did. It says, subject, nu metal, big, 4, 5. I'm currently in the year 2020 of the podcast. Good on you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also very surreal to hear somebody go, remember 4 years ago? That's where I am in your podcast history.
I'm sorry, Matt. Remember 5 years ago.
Goodbye, cruel
Goodbye.
world.
All right.
Signature Korn had 7
There he
string.
goes.
I am currently in the year 2020 of the podcast, and I figured I'd weigh in on the new metal Big Five conversation. I started trying to do one-to-one comparison with bands, or with which bands fit in the OG Big Four. I figure Korn fits in the Megadeth slot. Ooh, I like this. I like this. Every album is solid, huge in their day, still draw a decent crowd, but not as huge as they once were. Interesting. I'm putting POD in the Slayer position. Interesting. A handful of undeniable songs, massive amount of albums sold, and both have very Christian undertones. Wink. Mudvayne has to go in the Anthrax spot. Never as big as the others, but have been out there doing their thing and have proven they deserve to be recognized as one of the best in the genre. The one I struggled with the most was who would be in the Metallica spot. In my opinion, none of them really fit Metallica's career. So for my new metal twist, I'm going to say Limp Bizkit's first 3 albums are Metallica up to the Black Album, and Linkin Park are the Metallica post-Black Album, so Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park go up as one band. Deftones are number 5. They are the greatest of the genre. They have transcended the genre. It could be argued, with the exception of a few songs, they aren't even new metal, they are Deftones. Thank you for the entertainment, Smith. Thank you for the thoughtful email. And now, allow us to retort.
Honestly, this is I love this email. I
love that they went Big Four, because
yeah.
I think we've never gone that angle on it. That's for sure.
And I definitely enjoyed. Well, we've talked about a Big Four before, but I don't think our Big Four ever really matched this up. I feel like
No.
our Big Four was like a Deftones. No, I think it was like a Korn, System, Slipknot, Deftones. Maybe I think was maybe where we kind of tended to weigh in. Interesting take. I think honestly though, when he's comparing the bands, having Mudvayne be in an Anthrax spot makes more sense to me, because I can see how Anthrax is viewed and how Mudvayne is viewed, and I could say that I could almost see a 1-to-1 there. But it is also this thing where you just get into popularity, and the thing about Metallica is that Metallica, it's that thing once again, like Slayer, Anthrax, Megadeth, successful bands. If Metallica woke up with Megadeth money, they'd kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? This is not what they would do. And so that things are a little bit more uneven in that way. But I appreciate it. I mean, the thing
expound a little bit on what you mean by you like the analog of Megadeth to Anthrax. Is it just because of the musicianship of Anthrax, or is it because
you mean the Mudvayne to Anthrax?
The Mudvayne to Anthrax.
Yeah. I think it's more because when I think of when you think of the hierarchy of where all these bands work out,
mm-hmm.
I would be like, Mudvayne is pretty much like an Anthrax level band in the new metal scene. Like that kind of lines up as a 1-to-1. I would say, I mean, having Korn, he's getting a little bit more sales heavy, I think, a little bit also, because having Megadeth be Korn feels crazy to me at first. But then when he's, you look at the numbers for Linkin Park, you look at the numbers for Limp Bizkit, I mean, it's one of those things where it's technically probably Korn have sold more records altogether, maybe just because they have more albums. But Limp Bizkit's peaks are like, I'm pretty sure the highest selling Korn album is like 4 million copies, and the highest selling Limp Bizkit album is 9 million copies. So but Korn have more albums, and so Korn has like the legacy thing with it.
Yeah, Korn has never had a Black Album. Right. They've never had that one that, well, I mean, now I'm gonna have to do a nickel's worth of research here. Give me just a second,
no,
because
I'm fairly certain there's not been a Korn album that has eclipsed. Let me see. I'm just gonna look real quick.
It's Follow the Leader. I mean, you have to.
Follow Leader's 5 times platinum. So that's your biggest.
Yep.
And yeah, in comparison, obviously we know, as we just discussed, that the first Linkin Park album is 12 times platinum, 32 times platinum around the world. Yeah, Significant Other is 7 times platinum. Chocolate Starfish is 6 times platinum. So, and according to actual sales, Chocolate Starfish is 8 million sold in the United States. So I feel like that's actually 8 times platinum. Last I checked, RIAH certification.
Please?
Anyone doing their jobs over there? What are you guys doing? Clock in on Monday and get some platinum plaques over to the boys in LB, because according to Wikipedia, they are being denied.
Yeah, so Korn's File the Leader is almost 6 million. Issues is almost 4 million. Life is Peachy is 2 million. Korn 2 million. And Untouchables is 1 million. So, which is like absurd to be like, not great.
I know. Well, I know. Listen, Matt, it's once you get into these numbers, you got to sometimes you got to talk about the artistry, and you have to take a little bit of a, as you may recall, the famous post first weekend Kanye concert after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where he walked around the stage and he was like, 400,000 copies, biggest first week. But I ain't here to talk about numbers. I ain't here to talk about numbers. You just got to do that angle. You just got to do that angle. But I appreciate this, Sam, doing the deep dive, doing the research. It sounds to me like you, like many of us, really do love Deftones, and you have put them in their own category.
Which almost everybody does, right? Like at this point, it's hard for me to disagree with that.
Right. So I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Matt, we got an email from Dash Coom. Subject, a humble, respectful request.
Ooh, I love that. Read that email.
Coach, longtime listener, just wondering if y'all wouldn't mind cracking open the Nu Metal junk drawer and giving us a rundown on its current contents. I adore this show, and thank you so much for all the work you put into it. Also, if I may suggest something new to throw into the drawer, this clip from MTV's Ultimate Cover Band Contest. Nothing more nu metal than a cover. Featuring winners Strangers with Candy at 149 were treated to their contest-winning rendition of Aha's Take on Me that starts pretty pop-punky and ends big with some scratchy scratchies and yelly screamies. I believe that moment, combined with the fashion and inclusion of Ahmet Zappa, evokes a real time and place conjured perfectly for the drawer. Always respectfully, Dash. Thank you, Dash.
Thank you, Dash.
I have watched this clip.
Yes?
It is a true time capsule. It does take you back. It's also what we in the biz would call a tough watch. And as I would only expect from the band Strangers with Candy, covering Aha's Take on Me live. I am slightly inclined to include it. Slightly inclined. But let's go to the junk drawer, Matt. Let's go and look at it.
All right. It's been a while since we cracked open the junk drawer.
Yeah. So here we go. This is what is in the Nu Metal junk drawer. The 1, 2, 3, 4 fuck count off by Switched.
Yep.
Fred Durst voicemail to Taproot.
Needs to be in there.
The album art to Serial Joe's Face Down. The video for Chemical by the band No One. The video for Beat the World by Pressure 4-5. JD introing Blind on Family Values 2006.
Oh, that is a good one.
The Results May Vary documentary. The Blackout video by Head PE.
Okay.
The Are You Talking to Me video by Fieldy's Dreams.
Fieldy's Dreams.
I Stand Alone video by Godsmack.
You mean the Navy recruiting video?
No, I Stand Alone. It's where the scorpion bites him. It's the Scorpion King video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dracula 2000, the film. The Little Nicky soundtrack. We didn't put it in the canon, but we put the whole thing in the trunk drawer. The Fever for the Flava video is in there. Oh my goodness.
Hot Action Cop?
Hot Action Cop is in there. Birthday by the Prom Kings is in the Nu Metal.
That's true, because you need a birthday song.
You do. Surfacing is the new national anthem from Tattoo the Earth. The Thundermouth video by Amur. Now or Never music video by Dope. The Rock Superstar music video by Cypress Hill. Robbie Williams covering Rollin'. JD's dubstep scat on Tension featuring Excision, Datsik, and Downlink from The Path of Totality. Wayne Static's floppy censored dick from the Assassins of Youth music video, and The List from Lullaby for a Sadist by Korn. Sadist by Korn.
Love a list.
Love a list.
Love a junk drawer.
Love a junk drawer. The junk
This
drawer
thing, I didn't know it was so chock-a-block full of videos.
We put a lot of music videos. It was like, we're not going to put this in the canon. And then the thing is, I don't remember all the bits from all these, but I do know that the Pressure 4-5 video ends with the lead singer, flying around and then slamming his crotch into the camera. And I remember we were all very tickled by that. And we're like, it has to go in the junk drawer. So listen, what it takes to get in there, sometimes the bar is low, sometimes the bar is high, sometimes you're slamming into the bar with your genitals, but somehow, some way. Dash, thank you so much for writing in. Matt, we got an email from Isabel Mercedes with the subject, Brazil.
Hey guys, how's it going? I have a suggestion for new metal bands from Brazil. There are 4 bands I really like. 1, Pity. Best album. Oh boy.
Do it, Matt. Do it, Matt.
I am not Brazilian and
Okay.
you are not my family. So get ready for horrible pronunciation.
Here we go, baby.
Admirável Chip Novo. Best song, Teto de Vidro.
Oh, you nailed that one.
Yes, felt good. Felt good rolling off the tongue here.
Yeah.
Number 2, I don't have a chance in hell of doing this one right. Riako Kadai, best album Resto, best song Nunca Me Daiso.
See, Matt, once you get going,
once you get going, you get to a fake it level where native speakers will be like, what is this idiot talking about?
Yes.
But to you and me who are non-speakers, I couldn't have done better.
Oh, now I'm fluent.
Now I'm fluent in this. Number 3, best, easiest name of the lot so far, Charlie Brown Jr. Love that.
Mm.
Best album, Bocos Ordinaires. Best song, Papo Reto. And then number 4, CPM 22. Best album, CPM 22. Best song, Tarde de Outubro. That's it. I hope you like some of these songs. P.S. Now that Creed got back together, you guys should do one of their albums, maybe just the greatest hits one. I think you guys would like that better than you think. I can tell you right here and right now that if I put on a Creed album, I think Lauren will open the window that's next to him and jump out.
Matt, well, first I want to say, Isabel, thank you so much for writing in.
Isabel, thank you so much. Thank you.
Really, truly appreciate it. And listen, Creed apologists, they walk among us. They're in our audience. I know they're out there. And listen, maybe if that deep cut that I heard on the End of Days soundtrack like really surprised me, but when I heard that, I was like, no. I know how I feel in my heart about Creed, which is that they're bad. And I don't see that opinion changing. And certainly hearing their greatest hits, which I've already heard them. I know all their greatest hits. There's no way. Honestly, that would be my Boggy Depot, Matt. That would be my.
That would be your Boggy Depot.
Creed greatest hits. That's yeah. I just can't. I can't do that to myself. But I appreciate Isabel. So Matt, of these 4 bands, which one would you like to hear a song from?
I don't know. They all. I mean, it's hard to have a band called Pity. So how about this? Let's see if I can find a song easily. And if I can, then that'll be the deciding factor.
Okay.
Because, all right. That did work. I did find, I might have gotten it. Might have found one. All right. And now I'm finding the album. Admiral Chip Novo. Got it. And now the song. This is what happens when you're not a native speaker. Oh, it's the first track. Here we go. This is Pity. Boom. Man, these kids have got to get this house booby-tracked because Jason's coming tonight.
Matt, I got to tell you, if you don't do the work in that montage, he's going to just chop your ass up. All right? You got to make sure you got a floor of spikes. You got to
have a floor of spikes.
You've got it. You know what? I would highly suggest having some oil or some gasoline ready to drop on him in front of your little mini flamethrower, so you can set him on fire.
Correct.
So you can stumble around.
We need a sledgehammer on a hydraulic swing. Just that's at face level.
Right, absolutely. You know what? If you can trap him into the garage so then you can hit him with your mom's car, you've got a winning thing. But this is the song that's going to play. This is the song that's going to play.
I love this. I love this. This is very much a 90s horror movie montage song. I'm here for it. That punched my ticket. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that very much. That was very nice. Well, thank you so much, Isabel, for writing in. Much appreciated. Matt, I mentioned it earlier. We did a whole episode for Christmas Day.
We sure did. What a gift.
What a gift. We got so much tremendous feedback. Before we dive into it, Matt, I wanted to check in with you. How are you doing? Because anyone who watched the YouTube will know that you were not kidding, and you were dealing with these songs on a very visceral level.
Oh, I hated it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I can't Midwest nice myself out of how much I fucking can't stand Alice in Chains and Jerry Cantrell. I think it's dog shit. Every moment of it is bad. Please turn it off when it's near me. If Rooster comes on and you're like, ha ha ha, Matt, I'm leaving, guys.
He's leaving.
It's not a joke. I hate it. I cannot take it. It is not for me. It will never be for me. But I'm okay because I've inoculated myself. Now that I've been in the Boggy Depot, I went to the doctor and had to get a litany of shots, and I was able to make it through A-okay. But yeah, no, it was fucking terrible. I hated it.
Hated every minute. And so we got a lot of great feedback on the episode, Matt. I think you'll appreciate this first comment from the Barley and Me podcast, who said, I just want to mention that I'm pretty sure the first person to ever bring up Boggy Depot on the pod was one Matt Nas, so he kind of brought this on himself.
Well, you know, I spoke it into existence. Yeah. That's for sure. I believe the way that it went is that we were talking about Alice in Chains because we got changed. And then Lauren made the very Cantrell joke. And then I said Boggy Depot because it's the only Jerry Cantrell album I know. And thus a bit was born. And of course, and of course we have to see all of our bits to finality.
We have to see them through. Absolutely. Jeremy said, I got bog all up in my crack after listening to this. That makes sense.
Get that bog water on you.
Yeah. Mike on Instagram said, I named my bank account Boggy Depot when I was 19 for some reason. That is an incredible piece of trivia right there. I love one that you like. I know that's an option. I never would do it. And I love that he was like 19 being like, Bank of America? Yeah, we're going to need to call this account the Boggy Depot.
I know that it's so obscure that it would have to be a truth, but I think you have your two truths and a lie. One of your two truths and a lie facts right there.
Right. Yeah.
Ryan, oh my God. Yeah. I have to say this. I have to tell you this. One time during the development, team building exercise, they did two truths and a lie, but literally everybody wrote theirs is two truths and a lie. And the person who was reading them never mixed them up. So it'd be like, literally, his name is Matt. He's married. He has flown to Neptune. Like for every single one. It would be like completely obvious that it was just being read in the order of, oh, it's two truths and a lie. Okay, here we go. Truth, lie.
Matt, sometimes you encounter people who are natural entertainers, natural presenters, people that just know how to work a room, you know? And that's what you encountered that day. This person was like, I got a great bit, and that's being bad at my job.
It's so bad. Oh, can you guess which one? How about the third one?
The third one? Blind
and like the first person, you don't recognize that this is what is happening. The second person, you're like, oh. The third person, you're like, you got it. You can't be fucking serious. The 10th person,
I love it. I love it. May I take it back? Maybe this person is the best at their job. This is an incredible following through, never
wavering,
wavering.
never once being like, why don't I read it from the bottom up? No.
Why don't I mix them up? Nope, I refuse. I refuse.
Oh,
I'm unstoppable. Yeah, we got a message from Ryan, or a comment from Ryan says, of all of the controversial Coach takes over the years, what in the almighty fuck is wrong with Caramello? And of all days on Christmas, heathens, Merry Christmas to me, Merry Christmas to you.
Ooh, defile me? Defile you.
Ryan, all I'm going to say to you is that this sounds like the type of comment that was written to us while eating over the sink. That's all I'm going to say. All right?
Typing over the sink.
You're typing this over the sink. Because you have Caramello dripping out of your mouth, and you know that you can't eat it anywhere else in your house because you'll get it all over your couch. You'll get it all over your chair. You'll get it all over your floor. All right? Listen, if you want to be a maniac, okay? If you want to be a maniac and walk around your house eating a Caramello, I hope you have a cleaning service, sir. I hope you do. Because you're just getting yourself in trouble. Just getting yourself in trouble. If you ever want to say, why is everything sticky? Walk around eating a Caramello. Okay? All right? There's only two types of people in the world who deal with this level of sticky. Caramello eaters and parents of young children. All right? Because that's the other thing. When you have a young child, and Matt, you can attest this, there is a time period in which everything in your house is sticky for no apparent reason. It's insane. Every surface has a gleam, and you're like, what's going on? What's happening here? And your small children are not even eating caramellos. They're just like, I guess, like a living caramello. It's wild.
Right. But just caramello is pouring out of your child.
Out of your child. Absolutely. Matt, why don't you take this one from Steven?
He writes, Cantrell was a major influence on the way I play guitar, and I've never heard any of his solo records besides Degradation Trip. So this is an especially great holiday gift. Well, I'm glad it was for you, Steven. Glad it was for you.
Josh Toomey, our friend and friend to all, said, hashtag Team Matt and Breaks My Back is not a chain scene. It's just a vocal effect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. I mean, I feel like when it comes to Matt, any sort of vocal effect involving Jerry Cantrell is an automatic chain scene.
It's all chain scene.
It's all a chain scene. It's a blanket chain scene. If someone else did it, if Doug Rob Hoobastank used the same vocal effect, then we'd be like, maybe not a chain scene. Maybe it's a robbing. But with this, if Jerry's involved, it's an automatic chain scene. It's automatic. KRM said, well, I had fun.
I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Brian Mills comes in with, this is the single worst Christmas present I've ever received. I understand. Mm-hmm. I understand. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Yeah. Matthew Hebert said, I really did not like this album at all. I appreciate Matt suffering through it. For the content, though, good shit. Black heart emoji.
Thank you. Prayer pose. Mm-hmm. Prayer pose. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Isabel comes in with, yay, I love Jerry Cantrell. Matt, you need to educate yourself on the chains. I'm educated. I fucking hate it. You know how sometimes you can just find out about stuff you don't like and still not like it? That's where I'm at, Isabel.
That's where he's at. Matt, you want to take this one from EVTW?
Yeah, sure. Happy holidays. Hope you both were able to listen to some In Flames.
Listen, anytime it's Christmas time, you've got to listen to some Christmas music, and In Flames fits the bill perfectly because they sound like Christmas music. They sound like the type of music that you would listen to on a sleigh. It sounds like the type of music you would listen to while putting together a snowman. In Flames is prime Christmas music, and I refuse to apologize.
I refuse to apologize.
Refuse to apologize. Gareth Davies said, I am genuinely sorry to hear that this was genuinely painful for you, Matt. For your own safety, please don't ever listen to Again off the self-titled. It's a banger, but I'm not sure you'd survive the bit where the boys go, boop, boop, you're, boop, boop, you're at the end. For real. It might be one of the greatest songs of all time. Killer Chug, amazing chorus, lockstep harmonies from start to finish, does not fuck around, but don't do that to yourself. Love a bit of Jerry, even post Lane, Alice in Chains albums and his recent solo albums, but for whatever reason, Boggy Depot and Degradation Trip never hit for me, even back in the day. Love the singles, don't hate anything else, but it really feels like a songwriter finding their way outside of what their band does. It's a toe in the muddy water, and realistically is probably a collection of stuff he'd written that wasn't the right vibe for Alice in Chains, but doesn't have a cohesive intent to it either. Really did enjoy this ep, though. Song meanings never disappoints.
It never disappoints. That's very true.
Never does. And then, Matt, this comment from Josiah.
Yep. Yes. May the chains flow through you. Oh, they did.
They did. They did.
You know, it's strange because you were next to me and you were watching me, and I was honestly like breathing through it, like, and like, I think sonically they don't resolve chords in a way that I find satisfying. So it is very much like nails on a chalkboard, or any other sound that you find unnerving or uneasy is what it is to me, because it's just, I hate how this resolves. I hate the feel, the way that the harmonies are against each other is like sonically irritating. So it's just awful. It's just awful music that I wish I never heard, but have heard for your enjoyment. And if you love it, again, who am I to take it away from you? Please take all of mine. Here's another heaping helping of Alice in Chains and Jerry Cantrell for you. You can have mine forever and always. And I'll listen to Corky and the Juice Pigs, which no one should listen to because it's pretty awful. So I'll just have my bull slop over here.
There you have it. There you have it. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for writing in and saying hello. And you can obviously keep on saying hello to us online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And you can also send us an email, roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. And Matt, there's only one way to close out an episode of Roach Coach, and that is with a list. And it's time for Stupid F and Matt's new core for old heads.
Hey, old head.
Oh, wait, that's it? That's all
That's it. Just calling for an old head. Hey, old head.
Yeah?
Get over here. I got a list.
Oh, give me a second.
Now, it's been a while, I feel, because we just did 2 album episodes, which is wild. So it's been a minute since we've dipped in. The last song I believe we listened to was by a band called Freak, which freaked you out, Lauren.
Matt, I, unlike the members of Korn and protected themselves from Flymore, now do have Ring cameras all around my house to protect me from the band Freak and their very spooky sounds.
That was wild.
Very wild, very, very creepy, very
Cantrell.
If only. If only. No, I'm spooning with Cantrell. He's keeping me safe, all right? No. Now, this week, Matt, we are listening to a band called Mood Ring.
Yes.
But Mood Ring sends all of their song titles as
full caps.
Full caps, emergency. No spaces between words.
No times for spaces.
No time for spaces. I don't know what this could mean for the sound.
But Mood Ring is not all caps.
But no. Mood Ring, yeah, they're like, well, let's be sensible here. But
right.
Otherwise, everything's out of control.
Capitalize the M in Mood Ring.
Yeah.
But everything else.
So this song is called Would You Wait for Me?
Or Would You Wait for Me?
Yeah, so let's hear it.
Here we go. Caught you off guard.
Caught me off guard there, Matt. This is that new.
This is that new.
This is that new.
This is We Can't Help That Bring Me Horizon. Bring Me the Horizon is a band.
Yeah, I didn't get as much of that here because it felt like they really lived in the atmosphere a little bit more. Maybe this is like a current Bring Me the Horizon bias that I have, and I'm a fan of Bring Me the Horizon. I'm on the record. I own the records. Okay.
Yes.
But they feel in this moment impatient, like they're worried that we're gonna lose attention. They can't take the time.
They're rushing.
They're rushing. We got to put this. Here's the song. There's a song here, but I'm gonna just put a ton of shit on it. It's like, does this salad need this much dressing? Does it need this many vegetables? Sometimes it's like tomatoes, mushrooms, cucumbers, call it a day. You don't got to go any crazier. Don't put any cheese. Take it easy. And that's how it feels with current Bring Me the Horizon. They're just like cheese, more cheese, maybe another layer of lettuce. Want some meat on it? How about some bacon? It's like, whoa, slow down.
Egg bits.
Oh no, it's too much. It's too much. I just want a salad. I don't want I have a meal after this, sir. So listening to Mood Ring here, a nice spacey open. They were taking their time. And then when they went in, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I was like, okay, we are making like a sensible new metal, post-metal core type of song. And I enjoyed it. I like the vibe. I like the vocals.
Definitely like the vibe.
And I had a nice time. And to take from one Jennifer So show, I'd like to hear more. I'd like to hear more Mood Ring. It put me in a good mood.
Ooh. I want to say this is from 2023. How correct am I?
Well, according to Apple Music, Matt, you are correct.
Knew it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
I listened to it in 2023, and okay. I liked it then, and I like it now. I like, I've said a lot about guitar tone, and I do feel that this guitar tone is of this time, that a little bit over processed, chuggy guitar, but I don't, it's not broke. It's not broke. And I like the vocals. I like the kind of surprise praise and worship chorus, which is always what makes me say Bring Me the Horizon, because they'll surprise you with that praise and worship chorus. Or at least that's how my brain remembers it, and I could be all wrong. But no, I liked Would You Wait For Me? I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Plus, going through some of these song titles, I mean, the Mood Ring crew, we might have some romantics here. Their 2021 album is called Show Me the Real You. No spaces. And yeah, they have a song called Young Love. Yeah, these might be some
album called Stargazer.
Stargazer? Very romantic. Very romantic. This might be, listen, if you're a new metal couple and you're thinking about getting married,
those new metal nuptials,
you've got to put together a proper list. We've talked about it before.
We love a list.
We love a list. And also we've talked about, this song would have to play, and
right.
It tends to be Deftones ones.
Of course.
I mean, nothing says walking down the aisle than You've Seen the Butcher. Nothing says it. But I do feel like maybe that's something we investigate, Matt. The ultimate new metal wedding playlist, like through the whole thing, because you've got, Matt, you've been married, I've been married, setting up the day, it runs in stages, and if you want to, you can really break down the minutia of the day.
Oh yeah.
From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. And
so you know what I did my wedding day? I remember completely.
Oh, same.
Okay. What did you do when you got up on your wedding day?
I got up late. Not late, like I was late, but I didn't have to get up early. Like I had time. Yep. And I remember that I got picked up and they took me to get lunch at Jimmy John's.
Nice.
And then I bought more Jimmy John's for the rest of my wedding party. Then we went back to the hotel and we all got dressed and the photographer was there taking pictures of all that. Rachel was over with the bridesmaids. She's getting ready. Obviously, they're doing photos over there. Then we do first look. Then we go downstairs. I think we take more photos. Then we do the wedding license signing. More photos with that. And then it's ceremony time.
Right.
Get everybody in for the ceremony. We do the ceremony, come out of the ceremony. It was all in one hotel. Go down the hall, cocktail hour.
Love that.
Hour of cocktails.
Yep.
Then everybody goes into the ballroom. Then we do entrances.
Yep.
Then speeches.
Ooh. Right on.
Then food.
Yep.
Then dances, and then dancing to the end of the night.
Perfect.
That's it.
I woke up and I beat Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes! Yeah!
Yeah! The last bastion of being single. Beat Red Dead Redemption 2, baby. No, actually, it would have to be. Well, wait a second.
Matt, print the legend.
Doesn't matter. Print the legend. Print the legend.
I just like it. So what you did was you then went up to the altar and you took Catherine's hands in yours and you said, "You're marrying a winner."
Yeah. I was like, I've avenged the death of John Marsden. It was one. It was just Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. All right.
I've also beaten Red Dead Redemption 2, but I did that as a married man.
That's the.
I did that as a married man.
He kept on winning.
That's right. She married a winner. What are you talking about? Then I grabbed her hands again, and I go, I have also avenged the death of Arthur Morgan.
I love the idea that every time you beat a video game, you're like running through the house to find your wife going, "I'm a winner again."
I grab her hands, I lock eyes with her, and I'm like, I'm a winner again. I have stopped Nemesis, and I've escaped Raccoon City. What are you talking about?
Catherine, I love you. I was playing Chrono Trigger, the original one. I was feeling nostalgic and I won. I'm a winner still. Okay, bye.
I beat the end boss before I had any of the equipment to do it. If you beat it at the beginning of the game, it counts. I grab her hands, I look her in the eye, and I go, I just got a victory royale.
Yeah, and then one day you're going to go up to her, you're going to grab her hands and go, I still haven't beaten the water level in the original Ninja Turtles. So
I haven't. I get to the other side of the water level. I've got one guy left, and it's Raphael. I've got Raphael.
What are you going to do with that?
Why don't I kill Raphael? Why don't I do the water level with Raphael?
I remember a kid across the street beat the water level once, and we went to the next level, and I was like, what is this? There's more game? What is here? And then no one did anything. Everyone was too exhausted. No one wanted to play anymore.
Fucking water level's the worst. Man. I hate that water level.
I feel like, what is the story? Is anyone in the video game world listen to this? Is there something in the industry that you're making a video game, and then someone comes down from corporate and says, game looks pretty good, but I noticed there's no water levels that everyone will hate. Why? Every game's got them. I know this because I watch Ronan play these games all the time, and I'm like, oh, he's in a fucking water level. They're still doing it. You know, or
they are still doing it.
The other thing they love to do is drug hallucination levels. Max Payne's like a perfect game, and then in the middle of it, they're like, Max has been drugged and now you're hallucinating and wandering around. No one wants this. I just want to shoot people in slow-mo. Why are you doing this to me?
And if they don't want to build a water level, you get a sewer level. Where it's just knee-high water that slows you down.
It's like, I know you've been having fun running and gunning, but how about we slow your ass down for a bit and make you frustrated? Jumping puzzles also drive me crazy. Oh, Half-Life. You are trucking through Half-Life. You're like, it's the best game of my life. I can't believe it. They've cracked the code. And they're like, listen, last couple levels, you're going to be doing jumping puzzles. And I was like, what did I do to you? I gave you money. And you do this to me? me?
You know how you're like trying to take out Aperture Science and all these guys? What if you had to jump over a couple of boxes?
I was playing, and I don't play games anymore. This is why I don't play games anymore. I got a PS4 in 2020 with the Spider-Man game that everyone was raving about, and I'm swinging across New York City, having the time of my goddamn life. I'm like, wow, people weren't kidding. I feel like I'm Spider-Man right now. What a great experience. You beat the first level, and then you've got to do a bunch of matching puzzles in the science lab. How dare you? Who wants this? Who thought this was a good idea? I'm playing Spider-Man. I want to swing around the city and web people. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do any. Listen, I know he's a scientist. Leave that shit in the cutscenes. Leave that shit in the cutscenes.
Grand Theft Auto, when they introduced the, hey, control this RC helicopter, you could just fucking die. David Cross, I hate you forever for this.
I was playing GTA 5 and having a very good time. And then they were like, hey, we need you to do a cargo drop in this plane. And I was like, why don't you go fuck yourself? Really? You know, you do it once and you're just like, I'm furious. This isn't fun at all. This is work. I'm so mad. Final thing I'll say about video games, which I do not play. Ronan got a bunch of games for Christmas. And he was like, one of those games was Marvel vs. Capcom Fighter Collection.
Excellent.
This thing is a straight up arcade port, super fast load times, button masher.
Yep.
Had the time of my life playing this with my son, playing these characters I haven't seen in a long time. Akuma. I was like, remember Akuma? Oh my gosh, he's back. And one of the games in there is the original Punisher from the arcade, in which you are Punisher, or if you're two-player, you're Nick Fury. We are throwing axes. We are shotgunning people. We are having the time of our lives.
You're a two-man wrecking crew.
It was great. Ronan was a little concerned about the blood at the beginning, and then he got over it surprisingly.
Real fast.
And we were like, all right, man. And then he just had a lot of questions about who Nick Fury was. So we play this for an hour, have a really great time. And then he goes, oh, let's play this new Ninja Turtles game that I got. And I was like, okay. This whole game is cutscenes. I'm talking 30 seconds of walking and then a cutscene. 30 seconds of walking and maybe hitting some bug villains, cutscene. This thing was all cutscenes, all load screens, long loads, minute 30. Listen, if I've got to stare into a screen as I watch a slowly disappearing pizza to tell me that the loading is happening, I'm going to start thinking about my life decisions. And one of those decisions is to never play this fucking game ever again, which is what I said to my son very nicely. I was like, you know what? I think Dad's going to tap out on the old Ninja Turtle game. I think this one might just be for you. And you know what? I think he's sick of those loading screens too. And
who wouldn't be?
Yeah, listen, if you got that many loading screens in between 30-second levels, then maybe go back to the drawing board, maybe quit your job and move to a different industry because you're blowing it. You're blowing
it.
Right. Yeah. So in conclusion, Mood Ring, great song.
Great song.
Really like him a lot.
And great list. Thank you.
List. Yes. Yeah. And you know what, Matt? I think we were talking about making a new metal wedding list. You know, we'll table that. Maybe we'll come back to that. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, once you beat Red Dead Redemption and tell your wife that you avenged the death of John Marsden.
Yeah. All else.
What song you gonna play there?
All right. Yeah.
The Eagles' Desperado.
Something like that. But believe it or not, Matt, this does bring us to the end of another episode of Roach. Coach, thank you so much for listening. Keep on saying hello to us online. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Oh, tip-top of the TikTok.
TikTok. Send us an email, roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Of course, head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/roachcoachpodcast. Subscribe to the Patreon. Final episode of The Pact is coming, and more excitement coming to the Patreon in 2025. And until next time.